Hey guys, welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm not bad.
And I wonder how everyone's doing out there in the ether.
You know what? I'm sure they're fantastic.
I hope they are.
Because they are sitting down, maybe running, I don't know, listening to Mountain Murders.
Yeah, if it's not, it's going to get greater later, y'all.
So I have to start the show by saying I am mildly obsessed with the Evelyn Boswell disappearance.
Yeah, I believe you're just in full-blown investigative mode. I mean, you want this little baby to be found, right?
Well, if you're not familiar with what's going on right now, last week, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation sent out an Amber Alert on this 15-month-old baby. She's been missing since December. Her grandfather, her maternal grandfather, contacted Child Protective Services, who in turn called the police, and then the TBI. I believe the FBI is now involved on this missing baby who hadn't been seen since December. And at first they thought it was December 26th, but the more they've done some digging, it seems like the 10th or 11th was like the last time anyone's seen this baby. Her mother is 19 years old and had a boyfriend who has come out and said, oh, we weren't very serious, but social media confirms that, no, they were pretty serious. Mom has like 3 or 4 different Facebook accounts.
That's always a good sign.
She's got a new account where she's been going by her current boyfriend's last name, but you know, they're not serious. Mom has been cooperating in the investigation, but has been giving a lot of misleading information to investigators. Her mother, a woman named Angela Boswell, who's 42, and her boyfriend, his name's William McLeod, were arrested in North Carolina, in Wilkes County, on some outstanding Tennessee warrants, and were found driving a car that is rumored to have belonged possibly to Evelyn's mother's boyfriend. I mean, it's just a very convoluted
her
story.
Mother's boyfriend or
the baby's mother, Maggie Boswell,
the 19-year-old's boyfriend,
Megan whatever she's going by these days. I mean, it's just such a complicated story, and there's a lot of players. I've been following on social media. I've been reading news reports, and I've joined a couple of different like true crime groups.
Oh my God,
that are sort of web sleuthing this.
Yeah,
case.
you're down the hole, baby.
I'm definitely down the hole, and it's a very complicated story. And I just have this really bad feeling that it's like Casey Anthony 2.0.
Well, here's the thing. She can cooperate, act like she's cooperating all you want. How long does it take to produce the baby? 5 minutes?
There's speculation
hey, come over, here's
that
the baby.
The teenage mother, we'll just call her Maggie for all intents and purposes because that's what she's currently going by, is possibly pregnant right now.
My God.
There have been like screenshots saved and shared from text conversations, Snapchats, Instagram photos that are all circulating on the internet. And of course, the local sheriff's office is warning against those social media speculations and the couch detectives. They're currently, I guess, chasing down about 300 different leads to try to locate this baby girl. She's so beautiful, Dylan. This is like the cutest baby. And I don't know why. It's really weighing on my heart this week.
You've told me she's beautiful, and I know you're worried about her, and I haven't looked at the pictures because I just can't do it. I can't. Not right now.
It's really sad, and if you're a person who, of course, is interested in true crime, this is a good case to follow.
Again, how long does it take to, hey, here's the baby, everything's fine. So that hasn't happened. And it's turned into a big thing. I'm scared. I'm worried.
You'd actually be surprised how many missing children, babies, children that are missing currently, that parents, mom's boyfriend are seemingly involved, hiding information, and the baby allegedly is with a babysitter and now they can't find these people, that they don't get charged and they don't get arrested.
You're kidding me.
There's another case, and I believe it may be in Ohio, but the baby is Amaya Robertson. Same kind of situation. Mom waits to file missing persons report on this baby. It allegedly went to a babysitter and has just been missing for like over a year now.
Oh, no, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. How are they not filing any charges? How are they not? I mean, I understand the laws can be strangely worded sometimes, and there may not be any charges they can file on the state level, just because of the situation. I mean, I'm guessing that's what happens, There's no specific law that says if you can't produce your child, you know what I mean?
Well, I believe there's something called Cayley's Law that some states have adopted where parents can be charged if they don't report their child missing within, a certain period of time.
Well, yeah.
And North Carolina has enacted Cayley's Law. And there's a few other states, Florida, I believe Alabama, some of the Midwestern states, Louisiana. But it's kind of it's for states to decide. It's not like a federal law.
Well, it should be a federal law.
And so basically what it is, it makes a felony for parents or guardians to fail reporting missing children, especially when the parents know that the child could be in danger. And I just feel like this should be a federal law. I don't understand why this is just adopted by certain states. But.
Yeah, you got that other crazy woman they just picked up on a $5 million bond. She can't produce her children.
Oh, Lori Vallow?
For the courts. And I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on out there. But we've said it before. Laws to protect children.
Should be top
and
priority.
Women. Because women are victims of violent crime typically. You can hurt a woman or a child and just get out of jail like it's nothing. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They're just happy to get you in jail for a couple months.
The whole situation's very upsetting. So again, if you're a true crime fan, obviously you're listening to Mountain Murders, you like true crime. I think this is a good case to follow. I'm just really curious to find out what happens. And I hope that we are able to get some resolution soon. And I hope that baby Evelyn is safe and that she's okay, but I just have a really bad feeling about it.
Being a true crime fan, I think we all probably know better, and that pisses me off.
Well, Dylan, are you ready to get into today's discussion?
Yeah, I'm mad now because you're talking about the little babies.
Well, we're not straying very far because we're going to stay in Tennessee.
Okay.
For today's case.
Okay, cool.
Would you like to get started?
Let's do it.
David Earl Miller was born July 16th, 1957 in Bowling Green, Ohio, which is a suburb of Toledo. His mother was 17 years old, and her name was Loretta Winkleman. And his father was some unknown guy she met at a bar.
Oh, okay. What happened?
The one-night stand resulted in her pregnancy. It is said that Loretta was rarely sober during the pregnancy. She also worked in a plastics plant. She would be diagnosed with brain damage after having been exposed to the toxic fumes in this plastics factory.
Oh, I cannot stand the smell of burning, melted plastic, so that would be a horrible place to work.
Less than a year after David was born, his mother married a former Marine named John E. Miller. Now, Miller was allegedly also an alcoholic with violent tendencies.
Oh, my gosh.
The couple went on to have 3 more children together. One of those children was reportedly, mentally challenged. According to some social worker records from the time, Loretta was said to have never really cared about her children. She was not Mother of the Year by any stretch.
No, it doesn't sound like that was her priority in any way.
She spent much of her time hanging around divey bars, hooking up with men there, and was also physically abusive to David. Loretta is said to have beaten David with coat hangers, an umbrella, extension cords. I mean, basically just whatever was lying around at the time.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Her husband, John, was not much different. He was called a sadistic brute who terrorized the entire family. However, he seemed to really delight in taking out the brunt of the cruelty on David. I mean, David was the child that was not biologically his. According to court records, Miller would slam David into walls, beat him with boards, and drag him around the house by his hair.
God, somebody needs to beat his ass.
This was not a household filled with love or nurture. And later David would say he didn't remember ever being told he was loved by anyone in his childhood.
Well, that's pretty damn sad.
It's a really difficult way to live your life.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
It was at an early age, when he was just 5 years old, that David recalls having his first sexual experience when a female cousin molested him. He was 6 years old when he tried to hang himself unsuccessfully, but that would be the first of several suicide attempts that he would make in childhood. By the age of 10 years old, David claims he was drinking, smoking pot, and huffing gasoline almost daily.
Now, if that's true, could you imagine a poor little 6-year-old in such a life and state to actually try to kill themselves? I mean, that's very abnormal for a little kid to even be thinking like that.
Yeah, definitely. When he was 12 years old, David says he was molested by his grandfather's friend. The man had taken David to a cabin and then forced him to do unspeakable things while they were there. By 13, David was getting into trouble so much that he was sent to a state reform school. And of course, while he was in the boys' school, he was whipped, beaten, and raped by other boys.
Damn, you can't win.
While the counselors just turned a blind eye to this.
Damn.
But you hear a lot of stories coming out of these reform schools and these all-boys schools from that time period.
Yeah.
That they were just terrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, even some of the worst people in history, Pee Wee Gaskins, Carl Panzram, Charles Manson. That's where that's where you take these guys and almost it's like they callous over and turn into something else because they've been brutalized themselves.
Yeah, it's a really terrible situation, and if you research any of these boys' schools, I mean, the things that were allowed to go on there, there's no oversight. You've got guards, teachers, counselors who are horribly cruel to these children, but also allow a range of abuses to occur.
Well, I mean,
you're never intervene.
Yeah, you're locked in somewhere. You can't get out, and this stuff's happening to you, and no one will help you. I mean, damn, that's pretty damn crazy.
And as I mentioned before, David was suicidal. He had tried to kill himself several times as a child, and his parents didn't seem to care or have any concern for this behavior. He also started having seizures when he was about 10, where he says he would black out and lose contact with reality.
Wow.
And at no point was he ever taken to a doctor about these instances. His parents never tried to get him into any kind of counseling or therapy. Most people would be very concerned if their child was suicidal.
Well, yeah, but I mean, these people sound like they shouldn't even be raising animals, let alone kids.
His mother and stepfather finally divorced when David was about 10 to 11 years old. The sexual abuse only got worse after this. David says when he was a teenager, his mother turned to him for sexual gratification.
Damn.
His own mother forced him to have sex with her on at least 3 occasions, but it could have been more. Now, that's definitely enough to destroy any chances one might have of living a normal life.
Yeah.
You would need some intense therapy after having dealt with this kind of childhood trauma.
Yeah, I mean, being a boy or a girl, and your mother or father or, either way around, I mean, yeah, that's violating so many. Of course, it's not like he had a real strong, warm relationship with his mom anyway, but that's just one more damn abuse piled on top of all this stuff this poor kid's been through.
However, David's claims of incestuous relations have been greatly denied by other family members.
How do they know?
Right.
Where was they at when he's been beat and basically tortured all that time?
In 1972, he was removed from the home by social services. In 1973, David attempted to rape his mother at knife point. Now, there's not a lot of information about this event, but he had spoken to several different prison psychiatrists and counselors. And so one of the doctors had basically recounted the story and had questioned him about it, and he flew into this horrible rage and started saying things like, oh, well, I guess she never told people what she did to me or how she started it.
Oh, wow. So he kind of doubled back on her, and he has grown up. And
so he harbored this great deal of rage towards his mother, which we see this with so many murderers and serial killers. They hate their mothers.
Yep. And they take it out on women.
Yep.
Random women.
A psychiatrist, as I mentioned, would later question him about that, and he just had this extremely explosive reaction.